wanted to give you a tour of some of the fake candles that I have collected over the years and talk about why I have some favorites now and sort of take you through the journey of what I started with and what I'm using now and some of the pros and cons. This is a glass bulb candelabra base. It has been painted sort of two-tone. Bottom part of it is red, and then it slowly goes up to yellow. And it is glass, and it is always in that shape, which makes it kind of cool looking, but not exactly a realistic flame. I would not hesitate to put this into a lantern or something like that where it was frosted glass, because the color that comes off of it is nice. Flicker bulb. This one has been dipped in silicone for that little wisp at the top there. And then this is a little dancing element inside. Enjoyed using these for years, but it flickers a little too much. Unless you're outside, no real flame is going to act like that. So this has fallen by the wayside for me as well. So then I acquired a City Theatrical. If you see here, it's pretty clever. What they actually have are 3 tiny light bulbs in there. And the one at the bottom flickers the least, and then the one in the middle flickers a little bit more, and the one at the top flickers the most. And combined, that gives somewhat of an illusion that the top is sort of moving around different from the bottom. They are blinking on and off. There's no fading involved. It literally is just all or nothing. But it's a little too animated for my taste. So now we get to this guy, the Feelings Flame. And oh, look at that. Basically, there's a sleeve on here that I'll take off. This is a candelabra replacement, and you can screw it into any candelabra base like that. Inside here, there is an electromagnet that turns on every now and then. And the light itself is on this little sort of an axle. And whenever that electromagnet activates, it gives just a nice little rock side to side. So this was my go-to for years. The color temperature looks really nice. It's sort of hard to tell in here, but again, very, very accurate to what a real flame would be. I like that there's a little bit of movement, and especially when you have a whole bunch of these together, like in a candelabra or something, then it definitely has a nice effect. So this is a go-to for a while. A little on the pricey side, though. So depending on if you have a couple of them, that's fine. But if you're trying to do something with a whole quantity, that might be an issue. Which brings us to the top 3. These are the 3 that I am using and enjoying now. And the number 1, I guess the third one, is this guy. So this is, I'll use this for an outdoor fixture. This is a standard lamp base, replacing any sort of regular bulb you may have. And there are a bunch of LEDs in there that have this dancing animated effect. The color's good. The flame effect is good. One of the things I like about it is that it's reversible, so you can have it upside down and the flame will still go from here to here as opposed to what it's doing right now. But I have these in outdoor coach lamps and I really like it. A little animated for my taste. This is sort of maybe hyper realistic in that it really jumps out at you as being something that is on fire. So big fan of these for outdoor purposes. Then my current favorite is the Luminara candle. This is the pillar one. Much like the Feelings flame over here, this has a little flame element with an electromagnet in there, and it's on a little sort of, again, gimbal or axle. This is one of the closest that I've found to mimicking a real lit candle sitting somewhere. I especially like that because the flame itself is made out of very lightweight material, if there is a legitimate breeze that goes by, and in particular, this is actually an outdoor unit. So if you have some of these in an outdoor environment and it is a little bit windy, these will animate a little bit more than what you're seeing right now. Only issues I have with this are cost is a little much. There are off-brand ones. I've had bad luck with them. So I would definitely say, do what I did. I would always get these from Michael's or AC Moore with a 40% off coupon. And at that price, they're a little more reasonable. But the off-brand ones, in a lot of cases, the animation isn't as good and the color temperature of the LED that they use in there is not as good. Oh, just to clarify, this LED is bouncing off of a little piece of plastic. So the plastic itself is not lit, it's just acting as a reflector. And that is the other negative that I have for it, is that if you have an application where you can see the ceiling right close above it, or if it's right up against a wall, then it may not be as good as some of these other ones, because it makes a weird shadow or reflection on the wall. I've also updated a lot of or retrofitted a lot of these to run on house power, basically using a wall adapter like this. So in many cases, either rewiring them or making an adapter to replace the batteries that are in there with just wires that come out, and then I can hook those up to a wall transformer. That way I'm not using so many batteries during Halloween or Christmas, and I can also turn them on with some smart outlets. I had these in the window for a while, and I was sort of disappointed that from the road, you really couldn't tell or notice that they were flickering, moving around, and they really didn't read as much as I had hoped. So the other one that I want to share with you is this guy. This is the brightest that I have by design. And basically, this is something that some friends and I cooked up. There is a little Arduino in here, as well as, in this case, I used an H bridge, which basically allows the Arduino to handle higher current. This is a program that my friends John and Ben helped me write, and it has a slow pulsing glow to it that is basically semi-random. It is actually a routine that it's sort of going through. But one of the things I like about the code that they helped me with is that I can adjust the parameters. So I can say what the max brightness is, what the minimum brightness is, and then I can also adjust the speed that it is doing that flicker, or again, it's more of like a pulsing sequence. I'll hold it still here so you can sort of get a sense of that. So this one has been designed for a window. So it is not quite as active as this guy. I don't want it to look like that much of a fire in each of the windows. But if you look at it in the window for a couple of seconds, it starts to give the feeling that there is something moving there, as opposed to just a regular light bulb on a stick. So those three are currently in use as of 2020. But I also wanted to share with you some of the honorable mentions from over the years. So that is fake electric candles.